Things of ice are up in like Traverse City.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everybody. It looks like we have a few more people still jumping in. I'll give it another minute, but if everyone could just mute themselves, that would be great. And we'll go ahead and get started shortly. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. My name is Renee Scarlett, and I'm going to be walking through the platform with you kind of on the front end and then the back end, so you kind of know how to upload resources, interact with attendees in your booth. I'm going to turn it over really quickly to CMAA just to give a welcome, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
So if I could I just ask everyone to mute themselves so that we can be sure not to get a lot of background information or background noise, I'm sorry. So allow me, my name is Julie Montross. I'm CMAA's Senior Vice President of Business Development. I want to welcome all of you and thank you for participating today. For those of you who perhaps did not have an opportunity to participate in our first informational webinar, that was really just an effort for us to show you sort of a very quick high-level view of the online platform and also give a little bit of guidance as to how to engage a virtual audience. This, in fact, is a much deeper dive into the back end and the functionality of the platform as exhibitors. Renee Scarlett, who will be driving this conversation today, she's with a company called LAI, and they are helping us to produce our first virtual world conference. And they are essentially, Renee would be the subject matter expert when it comes to the Hub platform, which will be hosting the conference, not only on the education side, but also on the expo side. So Renee, I will hand it over to you. I did just want to say thank you to everyone for participating. I'll let Renee kind of go through how we'll field questions and that sort of thing. And over to you, Renee. Thanks again.
Yep, great. Okay, I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And just a reminder, if we could, again, everyone could mute. And then second, if you can save all of your questions till the end, and then we'll use the chat feature on Zoom to field those questions, just so we have people talking over each other. So just if you have a question, just be sure to use that chat feature on Zoom. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we are gonna get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna show you is how attendees will get to your booth from the front end of the platform. So when attendees log in, they will be greeted in this attendee lobby. They have two ways to find your booth. They can click on Club Business Expo here, or on the left-hand navigation, they can click on Club Business Network here. So they take you to the same location. So if I click on Club Business Expo, it'll take you to this lobby here. And then from here, you would click on All Companies. And then once in, there will be the list of companies. It'll be, what we'll show is that logo that we upload. So that's how they can find you in this list. The attendees are also able to filter and search. So they can come over here. They can search by product category. They can search by favorites. So attendees have the option to favorite exhibitors. So if they click on one of these stars here, it will add them to their favorites. So then when they go to filter,
Should I switch to Cotswold?
oh,
On the chat, on the message. to say that
everyone,
we're
please,
logging-
thank you.
audio is
Yeah,
like-
we sort by favorite, and it'll pull up device.
In the chat, just, you need to do the chat.
So that's kind of how attendees will get there on the back, and they can also search by company name. So if we click into a booth, it will take you to their booth page. So here's an example of a booth that's been set up. We have their welcome video here that attendees can play. We have their booth description here. When they come in, it'll you'll have to click down to see more information. The Zoom information is not going to show to attendees right here, the passwords. It's just showing to me because I'm an admin in the system, but I just want to make sure, just to remind you, this is not going to show up for attendees. But whatever information you fill in the description will show up here. Your booth staff will show up here. So it's important that you update your profile pictures and update your bio in the system. To do that, when you sign in, you just go into the upper left-hand corner and you click your name and you can update your profile there, upload pictures, add your bio, add any interests, or any other personal information you want to include. On this page, attendees can contact you and access you a couple different ways. First is the email me more information. If attendee clicks this button, you can pull a report on the back end that has that attendee's contact information. So it'll be their email address and phone number. So that's if they hit the email me more information. They can also schedule a meeting with booth staff. So if you, in your settings, and I'll show you how to do this, you can set up if you are available to for exhibitors to schedule meetings with you. So in this case, these exhibitors have selected that in their profile field. So you would click on schedule, the attendee would, and they can set up a meeting with you. One thing to note is obviously they don't have access to like your Outlook calendar or anything. So they're going to schedule kind of based on when they are available. So you may have to go back and forth a couple times because they're not going to necessarily see your availability. One thing that we kind of do suggest, if you have the character limits in your booth description, is to you can add like when people are available for meetings in your booth description, or you can also add a note about when your live meeting room is available. So they can email you more information and you'll receive that person's contact information. They can schedule a meeting with you. They can join your live meeting room, which is a Zoom room. Everyone is given credentials with their booth. For you to
hear others.
In order to access your live room, you will need to log into Zoom on a separate tab, and you will be made the host of that
Here,
Zoom room.
okay, so go here.
And everyone please mute.
Fill your screen.
Okay,
Okay.
everyone please
Here?
mute.
Yeah. Here? Yeah, make it just to fill.
Renee, as the admin, can you go ahead and just mute everyone? Forgive me, everybody. If I could just take a moment and ask that everybody mute themselves, because we're getting a lot of feedback from individuals who are not muted. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have the email me more schedule, join live meeting room. So again, with the join live meeting room, you'll need to log into Zoom in a separate tab on your browser. You are the host of that meeting room, so you can set it up so that you have to admit people into that room as a waiting room. So if you're having a private conversation with someone, you can set up the Zoom room where they have access. You can also record. Since it is essentially you're the host, you can record conversations in that Zoom room to your computer. I would just make sure you let the attendee know that you are recording the conversation, but that is an option. Also, if you want to use a personal Zoom meeting room, not the ones provided, or if you have a Microsoft Teams account you'd prefer to use, we can set that up for you. You can just email me and I'll show you where you can find my contact information and we can make that change for you if you don't want to use the Zoom room provided. There is also the chat feature down here. I'll show you in another booth what that looks like, that you can chat with different exhibitors. That feature you can turn on and off. So if you don't have staff in the booth, I would suggest turning that chat feature off so that you don't have someone there that's not answering the questions. But you can also set it up so if someone does chat with you, you'll get a ping. So if you are in another browser and you just have this open, you can notice that someone has pinged you. Also notice in the booth, if you provide your social media links, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, those icons will show up down in the left-hand corner. And if you click on those icons, it will take you to that social media site. Also in the bottom right here, we have the email that was provided along with the phone number and website. And then if you upload resources, those resources will show up here. So this is kind of an example of a booth with a video, and I will quickly show you one that doesn't have a video, just so you can kind of see what that looks like and who has chat enabled. So with this, they added a video. So we have a video here, and here's some resources, and this group does have the chat enabled in their features. So this is what it looks like if you turn on that chat feature, and you can kind of start typing a message and interact with attendees in your booth that way. And again, your resources will show up down here. So that's what the front end of the platform looks like. I'm going to take you into the back end of the platform to show you where you can access the different reports and how to make changes on your end to your booth. So when you log in on the back end, you have a dashboard. You'll log in right now as sponsor and exhibitor. When we launch the site, you will also have access to the schedule builder as well as sponsor and exhibitor. This schedule builder allows you to access the front end of the site. So you'll be able to look at the different booths. You'll be able to see the welcome lobby, but for right now, you just have access to sponsor and the exhibitor. Because I have admin, I see everyone, but you'll see the list of company, it'll say my company here, and that's where you would go to edit. So if I click on, if you go into your booth, you see your company details, you have resources and chat. To edit, you can click up here, or you can also click up here in the corner. So if you want to edit your booth, you can come in. You can update the name, you can update the address, phone number. You can provide your social links, so your company website, blog, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. You can also hide certain features. Your description is here. Just note that your description is limited to 300 words. So just be mindful of that when you are populating that in here. There's also the staff feature. Most of the stuff has been added at this time, but if you have someone on your team that you want to add, you can go ahead and search them in the feature. One thing to note is as long as they are registered for the conference, you can add staff. Again, some of these features are set to private where you cannot change it. So if you want to provide your own personal Zoom room, that's something that I can go in on the back end and adjust for you. Just make the changes that you see necessary and just make sure that you click save, because if you don't click save, it's not going to save. So you click save. Would go back to the main page. You can also go back to edit, show you how to enable.
No, do it to the television. No, I did it for my app. Richard, connect it to the television.
You can click on chat room. This is where you disable your chat features. So do you want to publish your chat, which means you want it to show up under that welcome video? So yes. Do you want it to be a moderated chat or a group chat? I suggest using group chat and chat enabled. So always show or custom. So you can set it up where you only want it at certain times. But again, I would suggest if you know you're not going to be in the booth, just turn this feature off. And again, you would just go to chat room on the tab across the top. The other option that you have to edit are your resources. So your resources, you would go to upload. And then you select a file type to upload a new resource. So there's 4 options shown in this video. Really the only 3 that you'll be using are logo, which is the logo that'll be shown on the main screen, and it'll also be shown tiles in what we call the exhibit hall. resource, which are the items that show up below your staff's name, and video. The video here is the video if that's the welcome video. You can only upload one welcome video. So whichever video that you have that you want to be the welcome one, make sure you select video. Any other videos that you have or may want attendees to see, you would upload that as a resource. Also, one thing for videos, you can switch them out every day if you choose to do so. That is an option. You would just need to come in here and replace it each day. So you would select whatever resource you want to upload, select, let's say we're going to do a resource, you would choose the file and you would title it. One important thing to note is whatever you put the title here is the title that shows up in your booth. So for some of you who uploaded resources to the Dropbox, we titled it basically what you called it in that file. We tried to take like first names out of it. So I'll show you how you can change that as well. And then you would upload the resource and then would appear. So I'll cancel. I want to upload a resource to them. So on your dashboard, you'll see everything that's been uploaded. So this shows that they have a logo uploaded and a video, and then here's all of their resources. So if they want to update, let's say the name or replace one of their videos, they would click on update, and then they can come in here and change the title of the document, or they can choose a new file to replace that existing document. Then I will show you one other thing on the side. When you are in here, there will be a section where you can pull company reports. I'll show that kind of at the end, but I'll show you how you can pull reports. And on those reports, that will be where you can find that contact information for the attendees who requested email me more information. I'm also going to show you how to update your privacy settings really quick. So you would click on your name, my profile, edit. And at the bottom of my screen, you'll see where it says privacy settings. For the exhibitors, we automatically checked them, but I would just come in and double check the features and make sure they're where you want. So show my profile in the community. So this means you're searchable in the community list. Send me email notifications. So if someone schedules a meeting with you, you'll want to have this set up so that you will get that notification. Allow other people to request a meeting with me. So if you in your booth want someone to be able to schedule a meeting with you, so under your name, it would say schedule. You would want to check the box and then show my schedule in the community. So this is if you have any other meetings, you would click this and then you can save this. So that's just one important thing to note. So I would definitely recommend for everyone to show your profile in the community. And also, if you are accepting meetings, definitely check the allow other people to request meetings with me. Just to note, if you are showing your profile in the community, it doesn't give people your phone number or your email address. It's just like your name, the company you work with. They won't have access to any private information. Okay, I'm gonna really quickly go through the chat questions.
So Renee, I've been capturing them.
Okay.
If that makes it easier for you. So the first one that I have is it possible to have more than one virtual meeting room via Zoom? In recent past, we found that when the meeting room is occupied by one person talking to our staff, others are stuck waiting and usually just get dropped off or out of the room or kicked out of the room, I guess.
We can only have one virtual meeting room here. The only other thing I could suggest is if you want to, you could in your description include a link to another room. One thing to note is nothing in your description hyperlinks. So the attendee would have to copy and paste the information into their browser. But as of right now, the system only has the availability to have the one meeting room. And again, you can let multiple people into that waiting room, or you can set it up where you have to allow individuals in and set up a waiting room.
Okay, so Renee, thank you. I have another one that I may have mistakenly assumed that the question was about this particular session, but my colleague Ava suggested maybe it was about the platform, so forgive me. But Sarah asked, are all chats seen by attendees? Is there no private chats, question mark?
Yeah, so you can, I'm trying to think if I can show you. You can message someone privately once you're in here. I can't really show because there's no one else in here that's chatting, but I could click on someone and do a private chat with them. And you can also do a moderated chat as well. I can see if I can just show you how to do that, and I'll include and give that to the CMA staff so that they can share that with you.
Okay. All right. And then the other question is, who can edit this information? Any staff member, or is there admin permission? And that's with respect to booth personnel. Do they have to identify who's an admin?
So actually, anyone that's assigned as booth personnel can edit the booth. So anyone that's assigned as staff can upload resources or change the description of the booth.
Okay. Let's see. Can you show what it looks like when an attendee clicks the schedule a meeting button?
So they would click on your name. So you populate here, and then they would click connect. I don't know if this back end has been set up yet, but I'll show you what it looks like once it is. So it would take you to a page where it says schedule, and they would click on schedule attendee to exhibitor and then select. And they would say who's hosting this meeting. They would type in who they're looking for. So they would look for you by your name. And then meeting location. They would need to provide their own meeting room for this meeting. So most people would use like their personal Zoom room or personal Microsoft Teams room, and then they would provide any details to you. If they clicked on your actual name within the booth, your name would auto-populate here, but if they try and schedule a meeting with you under the meetings tab, just attendee to exhibitor, then they could search for you by your company or your name.
Okay, and Renee, there's a number of questions about videos to upload. This one says that they have multiple videos they want to showcase inside the booth. Are you allowed only one video? And Renee, I want to make sure we differentiate between the welcome video real estate and the resource video and limitations there, and also the ability to swap out videos every day. So I'll let you take that if I need to fill any gaps.
So you do only have the option to show the one video in your booth, large here. You can upload other resources and have videos down here. One thing that you can do is you can switch out this video each day or multiple times a day. You just on the back end where I was mentioning when you were editing your booth, you just need to make sure that whatever, you can only select one video as video when you're uploading resources, and that video is what shows up here. Everything else is a resource and shows up here. If you tag multiple videos as videos, only the top video in your list will actually show up here. So it's just really important that you only tag one item as a video that you want to show up here. But again, you can replace that video multiple times a day, once a day. So that is an option.
Let's see. Can you please clarify if a prospect wants to schedule a meeting, they need to provide their meeting app, Teams or Zoom? Why wouldn't any request for meeting be within the exhibitor Zoom room? I'm not exactly sure I understand that one.
So I think what you're saying is if they want to schedule a meeting with you, why wouldn't they use the live meeting room? The live meeting room is more so people can come in and just like have a free chat, and you want to, it's not, I mean, you can use it for private conversations, but it's more so people pop in, maybe you can put in your description, hey, at 2 o'clock, I'm going to be in the live meeting room talking about XYZ. So if they do schedule a meeting with you, it is, it's a private meeting. So then that's why they would use their Zoom room or their Microsoft Teams or whatever platform that they want to use to set that meeting up with you.
Okay, Renee, I have one here. It says, are we able to customize the company tile that is seen on the virtual floor, or is it simply the company logo?
Right now, it's simply the company logo there.
Is it possible for exhibitors to set up meetings with attendees?
No, right now, the only meetings that can be set up are attendee to exhibitor. If they do click this email me more information, the attendee, you will be able to pull the report with their email address. So at that time, you could reach out to them to set up a meeting, but that's the only way that you would have their contact information in order to set that meeting up.
And these are coming in fast and furious, so I'm just trying to get through the ones we haven't already addressed. Yeah, if we have trouble during the meeting with the booth, will there be help? A phone number to call, or what is that process, Renee, if they're having issues?
Oh, if they're having issues with their booth, when you log in, I'll actually show. Real quick. So when you log in to the system, you'll see this dashboard here. My information is here, like under important contacts, assistant with setting up your booth. My email is there. So you can reach out to me if you have any questions about how to upload resources, updating your profile. I'm happy to help. Also here, we have important dates listed, the CMAA staff contact information, and then just kind of a brief overview of your booth features. There's also some additional information down here about setting up your booth and staffing that you can click on to take you to some FAQs about the hub site. Just one thing to note, that not everything on this website pertains to this conference. It is just a generic help center, so not everything pertains to CMAA, but there are some good resources there. If you have questions or just things like how to upload resources are also there, or how to pull reports is also there. And I can show you really quickly now where you go to pull your reports. So you would come over to your left navigation when you are logged in to the sponsor and exhibitor dashboard, and you would click on reports. You're going to see a lot more here just because I'm an admin, so I have access to all, but you would be able to come in here and you can see things that you'll be able to see are sponsor resource download details. So you'll be able to see how many times your resources were downloaded, how many times your video was watched, virtual sponsor attendee lead details. So this is where the attendee clicks on the email me more information. If you view this report, this is where you will find that attendee's contact information. That's probably one of the most important reports for you. So it's for those people, the attendees that do click that email me more information. If you click view that report, it'll generate a report of all those attendees, including their contact information. So that's kind of where you would go in and pull the different reports.
Okay, a couple more, Renee. Can videos be linked to YouTube instead of uploaded in any locations on the site?
No, they need to be uploaded, but you do have the opportunity. Let me pull it from the front end. You do have the YouTube link down here, so you can put a link to your YouTube that users can click on to take them outside of the platform.
Can you pick the preview image for your video, or will it always show a blank page or blank image?
Julie, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is Terry. Can you ask her to repeat what she just said about where you can put a hyperlink?
Yep. So in your booth description, you can put, there's a section in your booth description when you go into edit. There's a place where you can put a LinkedIn, hyperlink, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and also if you have a blog, you can put those hyperlinks in that section under your booth description, and then they'll show up. If you populate it, the little icons will show up in the bottom. If you don't, let's say you don't have a Twitter, the Twitter logo would not show up. It will only show up if you actually populate those on the back end in your description. I can really quickly show you where you would go to do that. So within your booth, again, you would click on edit and you can upload those links here.
But there's no notion of putting anything on that where they would know that they can go there and watch product videos or whatever. I think that the question that's recurring here is there literally no place on here other than those social links where you can take somebody out?
No, you can
to a meeting room or to other than your internal live meeting room?
Yeah, so you would only here, they can take you to the website. The only other thing you can do is in your description, you can you can drop in information.
But you said
again,
it's not hyperlinked.
it's not hyperlinked. They'd have to copy and paste it into the browser.
Okay, and is the breakout room functionality existing in the Zoom room that you're providing?
What do you mean by breakout room functionality?
Zoom has a breakout room functionality?
I'll double check on that.
And then Renee will get an answer and get it back to us, and we'll make sure that we communicate that out. So Renee, are you able, this is one of the questions in the chat, are you able to show, I actually think that's what we're looking at right now, is how the attendee would see the booth.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, someone just asked if we could see the booth as an attendee would see it, and that's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, this is right now. So this is, again, they would come in and they would see it like this. You'd have your video, your information here, your staff, all of your resources. If your chat feature is enabled on, they would see the chat box here. If it's off, there wouldn't be a chat box here. So this is what a booth looks like if from an attendee's point of view.
So I'm getting a lot of questions about when will exhibitors have access to the back end, and the answer to that is you should now. And that access was given on the 22nd, assuming that at that point you had gotten all your materials and into Kelly Springearth. Kelly, how did they receive that back end access information? If you could chime in here.
It was an email sent from Hub with their link to enter. They had to be registered through the CMA platform that we provided. And then once it opened on the 22nd, an email was sent to them directly from Hub. And if they cannot currently get in, if they want to email me, I can I can double check it and make sure they can get in.
Okay, and Kelly is the person to contact if you haven't seen, or if perhaps you're having any issues with having received that instruction. And her email address is kelly.springearth@cmaa.org. Let's see, Renee, let me see if I can. Renee, can you please clarify, what do exhibitors need to upload to Dropbox versus what they upload on their own?
So we set up the Dropbox in advance. So if when you guys logged into the platform, everything was already pre-populated for you. Now, since you have access, it's just easier if you just upload everything directly to the site, or else because you're downloading resources no matter what. So now if you want to add more resources, you can just directly upload them to the platform. You don't have to worry about the Dropbox. The Dropbox was set up so that if you wanted things populated before you logged in, we could do that on our end. Also, if you aren't comfortable uploading items to the site, you can still put those items in the Dropbox and our team can upload for you.
Renee, I know you talked about how we're notified if we get if exhibitors get a chat. Is there anywhere else that they're notified? Are they emailed? If someone sends a chat, or does it only show up in the chat window?
It would only show up in that chat window.
And there's audio too, right?
Yeah, you can set it so there's an audio, so it pings if someone chats you. So you can be in two different windows. I would suggest, like, if you need to watch a session or answer emails, you can have the two windows open and you'll hear a ping letting you know that someone chatted you. And then again, I don't know if I said this, but if you have set live, if you know that your staff is going to be in the live meeting room for a certain number of hours each day, I would recommend putting that in your booth description, so that when attendees come to your booth, they know when that your staff will be in that space with to interact with them.
So under those circumstances, is the 300 word limitation on that booth description, is that a system setting, or can that be adjusted?
It can't be adjusted. It's a system setting.
I want to, there's still some questions about video limitations on number of videos. And so Renee, I think that we need to understand you can have as many videos on the resource section, correct?
Correct.
And then one video in that main window frame, which I think, you know, we've been referring to as the welcome video, but you can really do any video there that you wish. And if you want to switch that out, you just have to do it manually as frequently as you want to.
Yeah. And one thing I would suggest is I wouldn't have too many resources down here. Attendees aren't going to click through, you know, 20 or 30 resources. We recommend that you limit it to 8 to 10. But again, you can switch those resources out daily and replace them. Same with the video here. But again, just because it's a lot for attendees to click through, I wouldn't recommend putting more than 8 to 10 resources in your booth at a time.
Okay, let me see if this one is still needs to be answered. Regarding the live meeting room, did you mention that the join meeting room is only for one person at a time? Is that correct? Or multiple people can be in the live meeting room?
Multiple people can be in the live meeting room. So whoever your company logs in as the host to that live meeting room, there'll be one host, and that host can set it so that there's a waiting room like I have on this meeting, or they can set it up so that anyone can access the meeting. So there could be 10 or 12 people in that meeting room at a time. There's no limit on the number of people, but again, you can set up if you want to allow access into that booth. But there can be more than one person in the booth at a time. You can have more than one of your staff in there and more than one attendee.
Okay, I'll just mention for anybody who is saying that they have had troubles logging into the portal, please reach out to Kelly and she can make sure she gets that information to you. But again, if you are missing an email that came from Hub on the 22nd of February, I would suggest first check your filters in your email. And if I'm not mistaken, Kelly, please chime in. I think that email went out at like sometime around 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Is that correct, Kelly? On the 22nd?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's from Hub, so do not look for something from CMAA.
Right, right. Okay.
And then again, if you have questions about your booth or want me to help upload or send you a screenshot of your booth, I'm happy to do that. Again, my email's on that dashboard. So if you do have any other additional questions, please feel free to email me directly. I'm happy to help.
That's great, Renee. Thank you. And also there's another question here. Any limitation on the size of the file to upload?
It is, hold on, I know I have it listed in the dashboard. So we recommend size limit is 1.8 gigabytes.
Is there a deadline to have your booth built? I would just say the attendees are going to have access on March 2nd. So it would be a good idea to have it as final as possible. But again, you can make tweaks and you can make revisions even all through the live conference. So if you're wanting to swap out resources or change your video, for instance, or make a tweak to your description, that can be done as the event is happening. And Renee, correct anything I'm saying, but I think that's accurate.
Yep, it's accurate.
Yeah.
Hey, Julie, this is Rick Coffey. Can I just ask a question off of that?
Sure thing, Rick.
So if, during the week, we're obviously going to be in the room and have it open, let's say March 2nd, somebody tries to ping us. I mean, would it email somebody? Is that what would happen in that case if we're not even in the platform or anything?
So I would actually suggest for that, again, you can update your booth description. Again, you can update it throughout the conference. So if you're not going to be in there, I would make sure that you turn your chat feature off And you can also enable or disable the live meeting room. So if you know you're not going to be in there for those days, I would turn those features off. So turn off the chat and then turn off the live meeting room features so they're not shown there. And again, in your description, you can also kind of put your booth hours there. And you can change that. You can leave that up for the week of the pre-conference, just so that they know that, hey, we'll be back in here during the show. Make sure you visit us during expo hours. We'll also be in here during XYZ time if you know that you're not going to have staff or anyone there next week.
What was the thought process behind the decision to let attendees have access to the expo space a week before we open?
So Terry, the thought process is we want to give them an opportunity to build their schedule. We want to give them an opportunity to see who they want to set up appointments with. So this gives them an opportunity to plan their week and to make the best use of their time. And that's pretty much standard practice when it comes to a lot of these online expo events and conferences, especially. You know, for instance, our education, we have congruent sessions. And so folks are going to want to have time to look at all the sessions that are taking place congruently and make sure that they're setting up their schedule and they have time to do that thoughtfully. Okay, just scrolling through. So there's another question about YouTube videos being uploaded. You can upload the video file itself, but there's no link to YouTube. So there's nowhere to actually link to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, they can link to the actual here. Let me show here.
And Renee, while you're looking that up, let's make sure we go back to that. But I'd like for either Kelly or Nicole to chime in on this piece. We're getting a lot of questions about how to promote their giveaways. So I was hoping either Kelly or Nicole could speak to that. What direction can we give exhibitors on promoting their giveaways to get booth traffic flowing to their booth?
One way is to announce it in their video. So when someone comes into your booth, you can play the video. They will see a message from you. If you'd like to win, if you'd like to be entered into the drawing, please press send me more information. To do so, have it identified in your description. Don't leave before you enroll or attempt to win a drawing from us by clicking on the send more information button. Those are the two easiest ways. Also sending hard mail, regular snail mail, announcing your participation at the expo, as well as that you're going to be giving a gift away.
So I'm going to add to that, Kelly. It really is imperative if you're doing a giveaway, definitely be sure to post it on social media using the event hashtag. There are going to be even non-attendees, you know, folks that perhaps don't even have access to the platform. They're going to be following that event hashtag throughout the course of the week. So please be sure to include in your social media posts about your giveaway, include the event hashtag so that it broadcasts out to everybody who's following that hashtag. That's a really effective way to make sure folks are seeing your giveaway information.
And there is a on the schedule builder page, there is a hashtag Get Social page here. So anything that's tweeted with the hashtag CMAA virtual will show up here in this news feed.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us of that, Renee. Yeah, that's
Julie
some
was
people
saying.
who don't even participate in social media will still have the opportunity to see it here on the social page. But to answer your question, Erin, yes, any social media page, you know, we have a lot of traffic on Twitter, we have a lot of traffic on Instagram, we have a lot of traffic on LinkedIn, and also, you know, while Facebook isn't our largest audience, we still have people that tune in there. So any and all of your social media outlets, definitely be sure to include that hashtag, and it'll you know, it'll broadcast out. But then you know, the things that are being pulled onto the social wall, Renee, what platforms are those? I saw Facebook.
So we have, yeah,
It's,
Facebook,
yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And again, just so everyone's aware, the hashtag is hashtag CMAA virtual.
Hashtag CMAA virtual.
And I would also suggest you can also, in your chat, you can chat about your giveaways as well, because attendees will see that feature. So you could also put information about your giveaway there. You can even, like, in your description, say from 2 to 4 on X number of day, we're going to talk about our giveaway, or make sure you stop by our booth during live expo hours, go to our chat or wherever, and you can put that information there.
And Renee, what were you going to go back to again? I'm sorry. I
Let me
was,
click on.
yeah.
So it's going to show you 4 link. You can link to your YouTube. It would show up again at the bottom. So again, you would go into your company details, edit. You would drop in the link to your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your YouTube here. And then when attendees are in your booth, oops, they would see the hyperlinks of where you've linked here. Yes. So that's where they would see access that. Are there any additional questions that you see, Julie?
Can't find the Instagram social media link. I'm not entirely sure. Are you at
There's no place to put, it's only Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and blog. I mean, you could put your Instagram handle where a blog is, but the only thing is the symbol that shows up there is the blog symbol, not like the Instagram icon.
I think there's some confusion about I think we're using some different terminology. What is the difference between normal hours and dedicated hours? The dedicated hours, there's going to be 2 windows of time throughout the conference that will not be competing with any education. And Kelly, can you please remind me what those hours are?
March 10th from 12:30 to 1:30 and March 11th from 3:30 to 4:30. And you can find these hours on the dashboard when you go into your booth space to set it up.
Those are dedicated hours for the expo, during which there will be no competing programming happening. So attendees will be encouraged to just solely spend that time on the exhibit floor. We do pull from Instagram as well. I saw someone ask why no Instagram, but we do in fact pull from Instagram. Who do we email to see what our booth looks like once we upload everything?
You can email me.
Email Renee. How do we control what filters our company is listed under? Or is that something that we are controlling? That's where, yeah, Renee, I'll let you take that one.
That's something that we control on our end, the filters. That was something that was given to us that we've added. I think there's a couple of them we're still working on adjusting because we had to change a couple of the settings on the back end of the platform. So those should all be final end of day today, but that's something that is controlled by us, those filters.
Who sets up the Zoom link, meeting ID, Zoom email, and Zoom password? Is that part of the hub meeting, or is this for meetings outside the 2 1-hour exhibit sessions?
So we will go in and populate all of your Zoom information with your passwords and and we will provide that room. So that's provided to you. Again, if you want to use your personal room, you'll just need to reach out to me because we lock the edit feature on the Zoom rooms just because we don't want someone to accidentally go in there and delete something and then you not be able to have access to your Zoom room. But the Zoom room is provided to you by the platform. There's still a few companies that the Zoom room needs to be added to, but for the most part, I think almost everyone has their Zoom room already populated within their booth.
Is there a plan to have a passport for attendees to drive traffic to every booth? So we do have gamification in place, and the attendees will be earning points for visiting the booths. So that is essentially our version of the passport approach. So attendees will be eligible to win a series of prizes that will require that they acquire points, and those points are also earned by going onto the exhibit floor and actually going into booths. So that's how we are encouraging them to make sure that they're visiting booths. Can we practice with the event app with coworkers before it is active?
Practice as in like go into your live meeting room. Yeah, you can access your live meeting room now. So if you want to go into it and set it up, sure. You can also turn your chat feature on. That you won't be able to see until the platform is active. But again, you can log into your live meeting room now.
Another question, could we also list a second Zoom room of our own for outside exhibit hours?
You could, you have to make it in your description. You can also use the Zoom room provided. You can use that during the conference and you can use it at any time. So if you want to use it outside of hours, you can, that Zoom room is yours for the duration of the conference. So if you want, to have a meeting at 9 p.m. or 6 p.m., you can use that room at that time. So it's essentially your personal room for the duration of the conference, that Zoom room.
So Renee, forgive me if you said this and I was too busy trying to keep up with the questions, but did you happen to mention that the exhibitors will have access to the expo well beyond the close of the event?
Yeah, so you'll have access to the expo. I think it's 30 days after the event. So you can go in and pull those reports. I know the one report that you'll definitely, again, you click on reports that you'll want to be able to pull. And you can also pull the report multiple times. So especially like the meeting, which one is it? The virtual sponsor attendee lead details, the one that's clicked to email me more information. You can pull this report multiple times a day. It is pretty live. So if an attendee clicks on it at 9 and you go and pull the report at 9:05, it should have already pulled into that report. So the actual report is fairly live, like within 5 to 10 minutes. So that's something that you can check. The virtual attendee lead details report, you can check that multiple times a day. So if you see someone reached out to you that morning, you'll be able to kind of reach back out to them and maybe set up a meeting with them.
All right, I have one new one here. There's a question related to hosting a guest speaker and how that would work. That was okay, let me find that, Nicole. Is there, sorry. Nicole, can you unmute and just read the question because I'm not finding it, so my apologies for that.
I saw a couple of questions related to how someone could host a guest speaker in their booth, and I would think that it would probably be part of that live Zoom room, and they could promote it, in their company description as well as in their chat, as well as in their video if that's something they wanted to promote there.
Yep, that's correct. And again, your live meeting room, I think you can have up to 500, if not more people in that live meeting room. So if you do have a sponsor or guest speaker that you do want to invite to speak in that meeting room, you can definitely have multiple attendees or people in that Zoom room at one time.
When will this video be available? I think Renee, it usually takes about a day, right, to get the video recording for this session.
Yep, so it'll take a while to download it, just because it is, and then as soon as it's downloaded, I will send it over to the CMAA staff for them to distribute. And again, if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to me. My team and I are happy to help answer any questions, happy to send screenshots of what your booth looks like once it's completed, or answer any other questions or help with downloads.
Yeah, and I hope I got to all of the questions. I know there were some that were very similar, so I may have combined them. So I would encourage everybody to definitely reach out to Renee on that technical side of things. If there's any access issues or even registration, Kelly Springerth would be the one to connect with, and all of you should have that email address. It's kelly.springerth@cmaa.org. And I think Renee's email address was put in the chat 2 times, once by me and once by someone who is helping me. So any closing thoughts, Kelly or Nicole or even Renee, before we say goodbye?
Nope. And then again, also just to reiterate, when you log in, you'll have your dashboard, and all of our contact information is on that dashboard. Kelly's email is there, my email is there. So if you do have questions, it is on that dashboard when you log in as the exhibitor.
And I'll just add one more note, you know, for your information, and we are happy to report that we have reached 1,500 registrations. And so we expect that there's still going to be a very large last minute push at the end. So we're very encouraged by the audience that we're hoping to put before you the week of March 8th through the 12th. So again, if you have any questions for us, don't hesitate to reach out. We are very much looking forward to seeing you during our first virtual World Conference. And be sure to pay attention to dates for our in-person event that's happening in 2022 in San Diego. And yeah, we're going to be planning a big blowout there. So thanks so much to everyone for being with us today, and definitely don't hesitate to send us your questions. Thank you, Renee, for your help today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Renee, can you hang back?
That was good. They did a good job. They did a good job.